Welcome to Rhythm, a podcast on being in balance through conversations with the Swami.
Namaste, Rhythm listeners. My name is Sunil. I'm with Swami Tadananda from the Ramakrishna Vedanta Center of Auckland, New Zealand. How are you, Swamiji?
I'm good, Sunil. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Good, thank you. The last few episodes have been quite good. We've had a guided meditation from you and then explored some of the reasons for the meditation and explored the different elements of the meditation. Today, can we spend some more time explaining the benefits of meditation to the listeners?
In other words, why should we meditate? What do we expect? How does it help us? Well, meditation, if you seriously think what happens during the process of meditation, we are trying to enhance the concentration of our minds. The normal mind is scattered in all directions, running rampant with all types of thoughts and ideas, bombarded by the external world and also bubbling from within our own memory. Chaotic. There's not much control in the thought process. So during meditation, we give our minds one thought and one object to focus on. And the objective is to have this one-pointedness of mind. It is called ekagra mana. Eka means one, agra means pointed. One-pointed mind. So as we practice this seriously, regularly, with intensity, over time, that which is the initial struggle to keep the mind on one object, where it keeps on drifting off, that wavering of the mind becomes less and less. And the mind becomes calmer because there are fewer thoughts now in the mind space. And if we go back to that analogy of the mind lake we talked about some episodes back, where the mind is compared to a lake. And so if it's very windy, there are too many waves and ripples, you cannot see clearly what's at the bottom of the lake. But if there's no wind, the mind is like a sheet of glass, like the mirror lakes. Then you can very clearly see right at the bottom. So imagine that through meditation, the mind is becoming calmer and calmer. The wind of external world is not able to disturb you because you can now block them off. And so whenever any energy is intensified, so the mental energy still remains, but it's not scattered on so many thoughts now. And that energy is now focused. So it's like, to give another example, like sunlight falling on a piece of paper will get focused on the focal point, and the heat can set that piece of paper on fire. It is not that we increased the heat. What we did is we intensified it. That is a great principle to understand in itself. Whenever we can intensify any form of energy, that's where the magic happens. Okay, so imagine we have so much mental energy. Previously, in an uncontrolled mind, it was scattered in all directions. Now you have reduced the number of thoughts that occupy your mind space. You've trained yourself that you can hold that total energy in one particular point. And just like that piece of paper would catch fire, here that intense beam of light or mental energy will illuminate whatever we are trying to focus on.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to study that whatever is represented by the thought.
Yeah. So in the meditation process, that single thought is a divine being, or light, or something.
Anything that's attractive and something higher.
Yes.
We have said also that concentrating on some physical external object, that is not the same as meditation. That's a simple form of concentration. In meditation, we have some spiritual object of
It's to be a
concentration.
higher being.
Higher being, higher focus. Then the energy is coming from that source to us. If we focus on something lower, then the energy goes out from us because we are higher to that object lower, and we drain that energy out. And that's why the difference is there. So one of the things that happens over time, and it will not happen overnight, is that the concentration of that mental energy becomes sharpened, and that mind becomes very, very powerful. So if you're a student studying something, you will not need to read the same paragraph 3 times. Whatever is the idea that the author is trying to communicate with the help of those boards and drawings, you'll catch that subtle idea quickly.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And it's a great thing,
because
it's the same mind we are using during meditation and in our everyday activities.
Yes.
But now this mind has become a powerful tool where you are able to achieve your goal more efficiently. Efficiently means in shorter time.
Right. Yes.
You take
just taking
less time to
less time.
Efficiency means less time.
Yes.
Okay. And it's a great saving. Okay. So you don't spend so much time fiddling around things. You just get the essence of it.
And the same would be applied to work.
Everywhere. You're using the same mind,
Yes.
So you'll find that as you practice down the line, at work, in everything, there's much more clarity. Quickly. That means you're making less and fewer mistakes.
You're able to see through the noise and get to the root problem.
You can eliminate the noise. It's like the filter in a sound system, You filter out the noise, and then you can have more clarity about what you're trying to hear. So here is noise that comes, that disturbs everything. How to eliminate that noise so that your mind space is totally occupied with what you choose to. And if you're a scientist, if you're a researcher, if you're a philosopher, if you're a doctor, if you're an accountant, engineer, when you can give your whole mind to something, that's where the originality and the creativity and the brilliance and all those things come. So that's one of the positive.
But if I would sort of carry that on the example at work that normally in a normal day, there's lots of things happening. So 10 or 20 emails would turn up. Then you're in a meeting. Then you're going to the next meeting, which has got different topics. So everything is a different topic or a different challenge or different problem that you're trying to solve or understand to help solve some stage. That doesn't stop, right? So all of those things will keep coming because those are external. That's your external environment that we are working in. So are we saying that through meditation, we'll be able to, when these things come at us, we'll be able to quickly sort of go through it because now we're more efficient at how we do things and process it in our mind?
Yes. Yeah. So whatever a person who lacks concentration might take 10 or 15 minutes to go through a document, understand, and then process it and come with a decision because he has to come with the decision. Another person very quickly can go through that, grasp the essence of it, and then says this is to be done in half the time. And if you can do that, it takes so much pressure and tension of you.
Yes.
Okay.
You get more output in a day.
Yeah. You can achieve more.
On the same hours worked.
Yeah. And without stressing yourself. Otherwise, so much work has piled up.
Yes.
And I could not finish it. And now I have to carry it to the next day. And it just builds up.
Or carry it home.
Yeah, carry it home. And all that. So if you're very good, your mind is very sharp, you knock off all those things very quickly and you're free now. Okay. So concentration of mind everywhere. Is a wonderful tool to have for everyone. The second thing is, as you develop this capacity to attach your mind to one object, simultaneously we are also developing the capacity to detach our minds from other things.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll not be able to attach it to one point,
Right.
All right.
Because you're fully concentrated on one thing.
Yeah. So that
you have to let go.
Yeah. And that capacity of letting go also develops, which is a major problem with many people.
Yes.
They cannot let go.
Yeah. We've talked about that in previous episodes.
Yes. Yeah. And so worry or whatever is there. Yeah. So ideal mind it's like something that's very sticky. I can throw it onto the wall. It stays there, stuck as long as I want. Yes. Then I can take it out and I put it another place. Yeah. It's stuck there. An unconcentrated, uncontrolled mind, you put it in place, but the attention is not able to retain there.
Yeah.
It drifts up, then you bring it by force. And so much energy is exhausted in just trying to manage the mind before you can get anything productive out of it. So the power of detachment is itself a wonderful topic to discuss, because many people suffer because of that. They're not able to detach their minds from things that trouble them, people that trouble them. Something has happened in the past. It keeps on, mind keeps on going into those loops, worry, and you don't forgive people in this and that. And so much of mental energy is dissipated, time is dissipated, and just carry on being more miserable.
Yes.
But there's another topic that can be discussed in another episode. So the second faculty that we are developing through meditation is, as we said, there are two parts of the mind. One is the active mind, which is trying to keep your mind in that loop of the repetition of the mantra and on the object.
Yes.
And there is that more important reflective or the observer mind, which is the buddhi. And because the buddhi is controlling the mind, the reflective mind is controlling the active mind, it's getting exercised. And through that exercise, we know strength comes, the buddhi develops. And over time, that buddhi is like a powerful rudder in the boat that is now guiding and controlling your thoughts. It's not just about having one or two thoughts, it's about having the control over the thought process also. So you see, in a decision-making process, you want to control your mind, not it runs in whichever way. If you pour water on a hill, it goes down according to the path of least resistance. There's no control in that. Gravity is dictating it.
Yes.
But in a person, a living person, you don't want to get the shortcuts. You want to cut through the mountains if necessary.
Yes.
That requires a tremendous willpower.
Yes.
You see, so in life, when challenges come, they do not always present you the easiest path. You come across challenges, difficulties, but people might lack that force behind them to pierce and cut through those things.
Cut through the mountain.
Yes. Yeah. And that is the willpower, you call it.
Yeah. So if you've got a strong reflective mind, your buddhi is strong, then you are able to use that to cut through things.
Yeah, it develops into a strong willpower. Yeah. And in this world, it's people with a powerful, strong willpower are the ones who succeed, while others give up, fail, or drop off.
Keep wondering.
Yeah, you see? Yeah, so people
never make a decision.
Can't make a decision even when challenges come. Some people are very positive, we'll get it done, don't worry, but at other people are there, after a few attempts they lose heart and they say, oh, it's too hard. And the moment that attitude comes, the whole exercise, the whole force behind the activity drops off. See?
Yes.
So great people, great achievers are people with tremendous amount of willpower. And how is that willpower developed? That is exercise.
So obviously some are born with it, but what you're saying is it doesn't matter.
Well, they're born with that. So it's not that the mind they brought into this world is the mind they had in the last life.
Yes. So it's continued from them.
Yes.
So in this life they're born with it.
Yeah.
But in previous lives they've done some work on it.
It's never lost.
But for others that are listening to the podcast, let's say, they're able to. What you're saying is there's hope. Don't give up hope.
Yeah,
you can actually get to that level by intense discipline through this meditation practices.
Yes, whatever you achieve through your mental meditation practices in this lifetime, that is not lost to you. It's a good investment. It gives you good dividends in this life, and it's there for you thereafter also. And that's why this tremendous willpower. Actually, this development of this willpower is the secret of things. So a great leader is one who has got this tremendous willpower, that it's like a magnetic field around that person. What we call the charisma or the magnetic personality of that person. And when others come into that ambit, they get charged by the thoughts of that particular person and follow.
Because this person's positive, always talking.
It could be a negative also. Sometimes you get a negative
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
could be a,
like a Hitler who comes along and he
yeah.
has got this idea, and yet he sucks everyone up, and the whole
Yeah.
nation goes to war and kills so many people, not knowing why. They were all good people, maybe, mostly,
Yes.
but they just got so influenced by that energy and personality of that person that they were under the control and charm
Yes.
of that. But on the other side, on the positive side, if you want to do good to the world, you see, you need to have that mental or energy capacity to be able to influence people. If that is not there in a person, you can make him the prime minister, you can make him the CEO of the person, like somebody is there in a family who inherits and then is given some big post there, but he doesn't have any substance in him.
So people, large families,
You'll find that.
large rich families where they have,
Yes.
the grandfather probably developed a business, and then now
The
it's
children
passed on. The children automatically inherit the
Yeah.
position, title, the wealth, but
do not
don't
have the
same-
substance.
don't have-
Adhikari nahi hai na,
Yeah.
that are not competent
Enough.
to hold that post
Yes.
or exercise that responsibility or duty. So you see, even at workplace, when you are looking at giving some responsibility to somebody, promotion or something like that, you should not only look at the know-how, the knowledge or information that particular person has. It is really the personality. Attitude is the personality, the force, the magnetic field that person exudes around him.
Right.
That is going to influence his team members,
Yes.
and that will make him the leader. That leadership, and this is all like wonderful topics that are related to all this. But you can see, to be great and successful, it's all about the mind and its power, how well it's harnessed. And when that is ready, everything becomes easy. And when that is not ready, well, you can put all the money, all the positions and everything, and it will disappear after some time. So coming back to this buddhi power.
Yes.
Okay, the power of discrimination. So buddhi is the power of discrimination.
Yeah.
Okay, willpower is ichha shakti. Ichha shakti is the force from the depths of our being that drives. It becomes into jnana shakti, knowledge. Okay, and then it becomes activity, kriya shakti. So karma, yes. So you'll see constantly in everything, these three stages are there. Whether it's trying to make a cup of tea, when you say, I wish to have a cup of tea, that's ichha shakti. Do I know how to make a cup of tea? That is jnana. And actually making a cup of tea is kriya. Whether it's a small activity like this, or you say, I want to become a doctor, that's an ichha shakti.
Yes.
Jnana shakti is a long process of and kriya shakti before you become transformed into what is called a doctor.
Yes.
Okay, and you say, I want to have mukti, liberation, that's a ichha shakti. Jnana shakti, getting the knowledge from the scriptures. Kriya shakti, doing all the sadhanas. But the process remains the same.
Yes. The will, the knowledge, and then the actual practice, the karma.
So that energy, which is very subtle, deep inside, becomes more materialized as in the mental space, which is knowledge, and then it becomes part of something that the body is doing. Okay, so kriya shakti. So that is about the willpower.
Yes.
What I wanted to talk about, the other benefit of meditation is what is called the power of discrimination, vichara shakti. To discriminate one thing from the other, because constantly we are asked to make a decision.
Yes.
Decision means making a choice.
Yes.
There has to be a criteria.
Yes.
One is better than the other. Always something, you're always trying to discern the better option. If that capacity is not there, okay, and everything looks same,
yes,
then how do you make that decision? So let's give me an example. You look at a piece of cloth with your naked eye. You say it's just a sheet of fabric is there.
Yes.
I give you a magnifying glass. And now you look through that, you can see those small threads are appearing slightly thicker. They're not all same. The naked eye, they look same. But with this magnifying glass, I can see that. But if I try to really discriminate the best one out of the 5 threads that I see, then you say, hey, give me a more powerful microscope. I need more clarity. And when that becomes available, then you can see which is the best. So
When you say which is the best, if you're trying to decide what fabric is the best out of them all,
Yeah.
the naked eye, it's fine. But if you look at the
Real.
detail, really focused, then you look at the threads, and an expert would be able to. And the same thing with, I suppose, diamonds, right?
Yeah.
When you're going through diamonds, you need the expert who uses,
who knows how to
microscope,
interpret
whatever.
it,
Yeah.
but at least he'll need the tool.
Yes, you
also.
need the tool. Yeah.
So this concentrated mind is the tool.
Yeah.
It's like the powerful microscope that can zoom into something.
Yes.
And can zoom out also.
Yes.
He can see things like everyone can see, but whenever he wants, he can just focus all his mental energy. Other things are pushed outside his mental field of vision. That particular object occupies the whole thing. He understands what it is, and then he zooms out. He says, I know what are the qualities of that particular object. And then he does the same with another one. And because he has got two sets of information now, he can discriminate and say, this is a better decision.
Right.
Better option, whatever is there. So you see, this is a wonderful thing because we all are constantly being asked to make decisions.
Yes.
In life. And life is like a one-way track, time. You can't step back and say, hey, I made a mistake, let me go back to yesterday and take another course.
Rewind.
You can't rewind. You can, in space, you can go back, but not in time.
Yes.
So when you're asked to make a decision, and you can't simply postpone things also. Okay, certain things you can postpone, push, but kick the can down the road, as they say. But other things, you have to make the decision immediately. Do you have that capacity? No point afterwards saying, I wish I had done something, Time is gone, money is gone, opportunity is gone, maybe everything is gone. So you see, the tool mind that we had.
So this practice helps, obviously, with what you've said, but then also with decision making will be quicker. You're more efficient, so you can make these things.
Making the right decision at the right time. That is a wonderful quality for everyone. But in management and all those things, because on your decision depends so much.
Yes. The success of the firm, employees.
Yeah, it depends what position you hold. If you're the prime minister of the country and some crisis there, okay, if you get bamboozled, confused, this and that, all right. And on you depends the lives of the populations.
Yes. Great. Excellent. Okay, so those are the benefits of meditation.
Yeah, well, some of the benefits.
Yeah, okay. We've almost to time. Is there anything else you want to add to this
Maybe
podcast?
We can do another one, because you talked about the positive side of things.
Yes.
There are many things that we are trying to grapple in our own mind, and we look into our mind and say there are some things sitting there, hiding in there, which I would rather not have them in here. Habits, anger,
Yes.
Which is a very powerful, concentrated state of mind.
Anger.
But it's a negative energy, destructive.
Yes.
Okay, but many people do not know how to manage that and do things, and afterwards they regret. You can't wash it away with a sorry, and has consequences in life.
Yes.
So how do we manage all those things? Those negative energies, how do we neutralize them?
Right. So we've talked about the positive stuff. Now you're saying
there are other things to be attended to. Also.
In what you've done before, now what you've sort of developed over time is your quality that you have.
Yeah, it's becomes your character now.
It becomes part of the character, right? Because it's developed over a long period of time. And so, are you saying meditation
can also handle, because you're dealing with the mind? It's not only just the good side for things. You can deal with the total mind.
And then, so the negative side is now. How does that work?
Well, you have to understand what is this emotion of anger, and these are called thoughts. Are given a representative called chitta vritti. The best way to visualize them as a little whirlpool, spinning energy. If it's positively spinning, it's lifting you up.
Right.
If it's spinning in the opposite direction, it's taking you down.
Right.
So anger and all those things are a form of energy, but they're spinning in the wrong direction. It's like you're turning your screwdriver clockwise, it's tightening, and anti-clockwise is opening, that type of thing. So in your mind, you've got this mixture of good, uplifting ones, and not so good, taking you down.
Yes.
And so while we're trying to say be good, do good, and all those things, but we also get influenced by these negative energies that are around there.
Yes.
And we get angry, we say something, do things which we know it's wrong. We've heard about it, but people do it in spite of themselves. Like parent might be saying, don't get angry to a child. If the child has got that habit, that's not helping the child.
No.
You're just trying to put a benchmark and say, don't behave like this, but you're not helping him how to manage that anger.
Yes.
You see, so if a deeper understanding is there, you say, okay, this energy that's being manifested in him, where he's throwing a tantrum and behaving in a not so nice way, and he's totally under the control of that emotion now. How do I, as a parent or teacher, whoever is there, can provide a way to neutralize or reduce
energy.
it? That would be helpful to that child.
Yeah.
But if you don't understand that psychology, then you're just very superficially, by force, by stick, by punishment, controlling that and making a bad situation worse, maybe.
Okay.
So this is something we can discuss a little later. But
maybe the next episode.
So maybe we can talk about what are these thoughts? How do we visualize them?
Okay.
And how do we classify them, good and bad, how they're constituted? Once we understand how they're constituted, then we will know how the mechanics of managing that.
Okay.
And that from that point, you will begin to see, when the sages are saying, do this, do this, do this.
Right.
Or don't do this and don't do this, don't do this. Among the 10 commandments, there are do's and don'ts are there.
Yes.
You'll get a very clear, rational understanding of why they are saying that.
Correct.
And so, coming to that, which probably we should take up in the next episode, the foundations of meditation process are on two disciplines called yama and niyama. Don'ts and do's.
Right. Okay.
That forms the moral and the ethical foundation of any spiritual life that anyone wants to build. So there are 8 steps of meditation, Ashtanga Yoga. The first 2 are yama and niyama, don'ts and do's. Then comes asana, how you sit, pranayama, how you breathe. And then becomes the mental exercise of withdrawing the mind, dharana, pratyahara. Then concentrating the mind, dharana, on one object. When that concentration becomes better, it's called dhyana, meditation. And when it's perfected, it's called samadhi.
Right.
Okay. The last 4 are the actual mental exercises.
Yes.
The first 2 are moral and ethical exercises.
Yeah.
In between is the physical posture and breath.
So the last few episodes, we've done the actual meditation.
We have basically talked about not meditation. Out of courtesy, we are saying it meditation, but technically it will be called pratyahara and dharana. Withdrawing the mind from outside and focusing on the object. It drifts out. Concentration hasn't matured, so it will be called dharana.
But we've done the sitting down,
discussions.
The posture. Yeah, we've talked about it. We've talked about the breathing.
Yes,
right. So we've talked about 4 of the 8 so far.
Yeah,
and now
something like that. Yeah, 4 of the 8.
4 of the 8.
But now I think time to go to the foundations.
The foundations,
because what happens in that 10 minutes of sitting down for meditation depends on what was happening at other times.
Yes, the whole day. What are you doing the whole day?
And how you're going about it.
The other 23 hours and 50 minutes.
Yes. Well, some of you are sleeping, but when you're awake, are you mindful of the impact of every thought, word, and deed that is now fashioning your mind?
Yes.
If you're not alert to that, then you're carrying a very polluted, damaged mind to the hour of meditation, and you wonder why it's not concentrated.
And why it's not working.
Yeah.
And why can't you see a change?
So it's an alertness comes. Okay. But let's look at those do's and don'ts.
Yes.
That's a foundation.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Swamiji.
Welcome.
Thank you for listening. Being in balance. Rhythm. For more information, please visit www.vedanta.nz.